All right. Now let's go back to the heart of Silicon Valley. What's happening in Neo Cloud? What's trendy? What's the critical things we need to solve?
I mean, the demand is off the charts, and I kind of like pay respect to Anthropic and OpenAI for showing consumers and businesses what machine learning and AI models can do for you, and that's driving a lot of interest from customers about I love what it can do, but not for $10 million or for $10 per million tokens. How can I do that for $2 or 20 cents or something? And so when we think about how are we going to grow 200%, we have to bring on like a megawatt of compute a week. We have to bring on 50 petabytes of storage a week. And that would have been like maybe, financially challenging before, but now it's also logistically challenging.
Definitely.
What if I bring on, 1,000 or 10,000 H100s all at once, and my utilization drops, 15% because it was dumping a lot of supply on. So you have to kind of start to match enterprise customer demand with that. So it's more operational than I thought it would be. It's not a technical problem as much. We know how to solve computers,
Right.
but solving for the challenges of growing 200% a year is super hard.
Yeah, yeah. I think yesterday we also talked about the challenges around existing infrastructure, right? The network and everything. Do you think currently the existing infrastructure is also another bottleneck?
For sure. I mean, when you look at a global footprint of where you're going to put all this compute, you can go to places that have a lot of power, but often they don't have a lot of internet and network bandwidth. And so you really have to manage that. If you build a really great site and your customer has trouble getting their data and information to it or getting it out of it. So having kind of a multi-region, multi-data center footprint and then offering some kind of quality of service across that where it shouldn't matter where my workload lands. I shouldn't notice the difference, but maybe if you're really measuring, you can notice.
Right, right. And one of the things you just mentioned is really around the unique economics of this business, right? The other aspect is really the energy efficiency in running AI infrastructures. So in your business, how do you typically balance what's happening, on the energy consumption side versus, the unit economics and also the quality of the service to the customer?
Yeah, an interesting question. Maybe the biggest limitation in existing data center footprints is you can only fit maybe one or two of these GPU machines per rack. You can actually fit 7 or something, but you can't get enough power into that rack
Right.
in an existing site. Now, if you go to the NVIDIA conference, you'll see them show new generation racks that can do 200 kilowatts, and they have beautiful plumbing. It looks like a water park. So that all looks like a great future, but that's not necessarily the present. Yeah, that's one sort of, and then I think about how can I actually standardize some of the business on a few SKUs that customer wants. So like in a prosumer community developer type thing, we might do like variants of the RTX 6000 Pro and split them into different like logical GPU memory sizes. And on the enterprise side, I might try to center around like a B300 and R300 type strategy, and sort of push that as the workhorse so that we can have predictable supply, predictable demand.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Anything to add? Right now, there are a lot of new progress, new development on the hardware side, new compute, new chips, right, going to the market. What's happening to the old hardware? Are they becoming obsolete and that very soon the new hardware are going to come to the market and make the existing hardware no longer useful, or do you think there's a long-term value here as well?
I think there's two things like the AI doomers get wrong. One is that like GPUs have a high failure rate, and after you get through your initial burn-in, the 2 weeks where you're running really hot, you can RMA anything that failed, and after that the failure rate drops off considerably,
Right.
a few orders of magnitude. And the other thing that they'll say is like a GPU is obsolete in 2 or 3 years. That like could not be further than the truth. I joke that like the long tail of cards that we support on RunPod, it's like a bit of a computer history museum, meaning there could be like a 9-year-old NVIDIA card on there, but someone finds value out of that. A student wants to rent that and use that to experiment with machine learning for their coursework beyond what they can get at the university. And frankly today, a lot of the world runs their scale-out workloads on the NVIDIA L4 and L40S if you need a little more memory. And for a long time, Jensen kept having a conference every month because he was trying to get people to buy, Blackwell chips, and everyone just wanted to keep reordering H100s.
Yes.
So he stopped making them and said you have to buy an H200 at least. But people sometimes, have success on a certain architecture, have success on a certain model, and they want to go with that for a long time.
Yeah.
But I predict we'll still be running H100s in 8 years.
Okay, so our hardware are safe. It's not gonna go obsolete.
Even if you depreciate it in 5 years or 3 years on an accelerated basis, the depreciation has nothing to do with, yield and ability to use it.
Yes, thank you. That's a very optimistic view. Everybody agrees?
Yeah.
I totally agree. I really like that.
To be the biggest change in your industry, in the AI infrastructure side, and what's going to change in the scaling factor, the deployment dynamic, right? And also, I want you to also answer this. So, if you have a magic wand, what do you want to change in the industry as well? What's your wishful thinking for the industry? So, one prediction and one wishful thinking. Let's go.
Okay, really quick. If we work very hard, we can expand the universe of people who can be successful with fine-tuning and training, from just people who have PhDs in math and statistics to every software developer. I think the company and the companies and the community that unlocks this and enables people to do a continuous pipeline of running inference, continuously sampling data in a stratified way, labeling that data, getting that data into a training pipeline that then re-releases the model onto the same storage, like we have in RunBot, like one big circle of that. That could be happening every single day. And there's like 93 steps in it, and it's tremendous. And maybe like 40, 50 of them are automated at the best AI houses in Silicon Valley. But whoever gets there first, I think it'll be a very big unlock and really change the way that we interact with these models, bending them so that they're better at precision and recall for the tasks that are important to us. And that's how we can rely less on frontier models and more on small models that are very good at what we need them to do.
I look forward to that. David?
Yeah, sure. So I think what we often forget